I know Kamala Harris. She's a member of the Congressional Black Caucus. Not just a member, she comes to meetings. There's some people who say, yeah, I'm a member of that. And like I am trying to get into my Masonic Hall. I'm a member of my Masonic Hall because I pay my dues. If I ever had to work my way in the building, I would never be able to get in. That's not Kamala. She has been a part of our efforts in Washington. She has served her state of California well, not just as a prosecutor, but as a representative of fairness and justice. And sometimes justice gets mixed up with mercy. A guy told me one time, when I told him that I was going to give him justice, he said, I'm not looking for justice because I know I'm guilty. I want a little mercy. So she has petered out justice, and she's done it with mercy. Ladies and gentlemen, from California, the woman who I have not seen, but everybody told me is here, Kamala Harris. Woo! Woo! Great. I'm doing okay. Yeah, I'm going to make it. Yeah.
California knows how to party.
James Clyburn. So you talked about me, I can talk about you. So I want to first thank South Carolina for sending Representative Clyburn to Washington, D.C. I thank you, because he not only represents this great state, he is a voice of truth in the United States of America at a time that we need truth tellers. He is a voice of courage. He is a voice for justice. He creates a standard for others about what it means to walk tall, speaking truth, even in those moments where it may make people uncomfortable, even when you speak truth against power. That is who Jim Clyburn is. And he creates in that way an inspiration for others to follow. And he has been a role model for me and so many others. And I think of the memory of Miss Emily, and I just want to say, Representative Clyburn, I thank you for your leadership and your friendship, and thank you, South Carolina, for sending him and sending him back in his reelection. Thank you. So my name is Kamala Harris. I'm running for President of the United States, and I am here. And I will tell y'all, first of all, I want to thank Ms. Betty Henderson. I want to thank Kenny Glover, Jamie Harrison, and of course, Dr. Reverend Ralph Brown for all of your leadership in bringing us together today. So what a week or two we have had recently, on top of these last 2.5 years. And here's how I think about it. Orangeburg, justice is on the ballot in 2020. Justice is on the ballot. Justice is on the ballot in America when the family that owns Walmart makes more in 60 seconds than the average American family makes in a year. Justice is on the ballot. Justice is on the ballot when the 60 biggest corporations of America paid no taxes last year. Who here paid no taxes last year? Justice is on the ballot. When in 99% of the counties in America, if you are a minimum wage worker, you cannot afford a one-bedroom apartment, justice is on the ballot. Justice is on the ballot when the teachers in our public schools have to hold down 2 and 3 jobs just to put food on their table and have a roof over their head. Justice is on the ballot. Justice is on the ballot when our babies, elementary, middle, high school students, have returned back to school in these last few weeks to have a drill where they learn about how they need to hide in a closet in the event that there is a mass shooter roaming the hallways of their school, because there are people in Washington, D.C. who fail to have the courage to understand we need reasonable gun safety laws, including universal background checks and a renewal of the assault weapons ban. Justice is on the ballot. Justice is on the ballot when we're looking at the fact that we have a crisis around our climate and we have children all over our country, including here in South Carolina, that have to drink poisonous water because this has not been a priority. Justice is on the ballot when we have a criminal in the White House who has run the most corrupt administration. And basically, he is, as far as I'm concerned, a walking indictment in a red tie. Justice is on the ballot. And I will tell you, as Representative Clyburn said, I have spent my entire career fighting for justice. My parents met when they were active in the civil rights movement. My sister Maya and I, we joked, we grew up surrounded by a bunch of adults who spent full-time marching and shouting for this thing called justice. My entire career, I would stand in a courtroom, and I'd walk into that courtroom, and I would say, Kamala Harris for the people. And when I said that, it was about our system of justice that says two things that are very important. One, a harm against any one of us is a harm against all of us. Two, it's for the people, meaning all people, regardless of race, regardless of gender, regardless of where they live or the party with which they're registered to vote or the language their grandmother speaks. It's about all the people. And in the name of the people and in the fight for justice, I stand before you prepared to say goodbye to Donald Trump in this election. And I just want to say something else because, you know, Representative Clyburn, everybody here, I'm now almost 10 months into this election, and I just think that this is a time for real talk. Like, I'm not here to waste anybody's time. So I also want to address what I think has been, in this campaign, the elephant in the room. And really, it's the donkey in the room. And it's a conversation that's been coming up around my campaign about electability. This conversation where people are saying, well, you know, I don't know if America is ready for a woman or a black woman to be president of the United States. People will say, oh, I'm ready, but I don't know if my neighbors are ready. People say, you know, maybe it's not your time. Maybe it's not your turn. Oh, it's going to be difficult. But here's the thing, Orangeburg. This is a conversation I have heard in every election I have, and now here's the operative word, won. This is not a new conversation for me. And I say this not to say anything about myself. I say it to say everything about you. Because you know and have the ability to believe and be deep of faith in knowing what can be unburdened by what has been. You have the ability to see what others may not be able to see and then work to make it happen. You have the ability to know that we will never sit back and wait for somebody else's permission to tell us something is possible. We will make it possible. We will make it happen. And so I stand before you today, deep of faith and belief in what is possible, and in an America that I believe is possible in terms of having health care for all, paying our teachers their value, understanding that there will never be another Tatiana who is sitting in her home playing with her nephew and is shot and killed because she is black. I believe in an America where we will deal with the climate crisis and pass smart gun safety laws, make sure everyone has access to health care, and that it will not be a function of how much money you have in your back pocket. I believe in what we are capable of. And I know that when we are unified and with the spirit of understanding that anything that affects any of us affects all of us, and that together we either rise or fall, I know unified and with our ability to unify people around our common hopes and dreams that we will win this election. I thank you.
Give it up for Kamala. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you.